Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering the woke boycotts. I would have never thought things could be this successful. That just shows you we should always be optimistic, focus on what's important, and support the people that we want to support the companies we want to support, but stay away from the ones that are doing things that we know are just not right. Bud Light is getting completely destroyed. I'm looking forward to doing a video on them tomorrow or the next day talking about their most recent destruction of sales. Target, I'm a little bit surprised that it's been this quick and this devastating for them, but I'm really happy to see that if people do not support their agenda, and it's an agenda, it's not just, hey, we want to participate with people. It's a legitimate, serious agenda. It even goes to their executive ranks. Target's vice president of brand management, literally vice president of brand management, that is how they present themselves to the world, is a treasurer at LGBT group that pushes school districts to allow children to secretly change their gender. That's the Gleason story. Treasurer is an important position. Usually they're controlling finances. It's as significant as being like CEO of the organization. It's not a trivial position. Thank goodness the boycotts at Target are working. I have some specific stories to prove that they're working and some comments from the Reddit group from Target as well that support people kind of wondering, employees wondering, hey, what's kind of going on with our company? It doesn't seem like we're doing that well. The boycotts are absolutely working. Let's get into the first article. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys. Coming from the New York Post, Target's losing $10 billion in 10 days. I did a similar video where they had lost $9 billion over the course of a week, but it's up to $10 billion now over the course of 10 days. Additionally, the Boycott Target song has racked up millions of views, taking off on iTunes. It's literally number 2 on iTunes. It's that hot. And you have to wonder if people singing about boycotting your company is one of the hottest things in the culture right now, one of the hottest songs on iTunes. Maybe you're doing something wrong, Target. Yeah, they are, but they know they're doing something wrong, and it's really creepy. Why should a vice president of brand management at Target be tied in with this Gleason company that's busy pushing teachers to keep trans and non-binary students' gender identities away from parents? And how can parents possibly take care of their children if they don't know what's going on in their world and they don't know what's going on in their minds? And also, let's remember, kids do go in, they have a grade, and then they have a summer, and then they go into another grade. How is that even supposed to transition from one grade to another? This never made any sense. Parents are responsible for their children in every possible way, their well-being, their health, physically and mentally. To exclude parents is to attack children. Here's what's going on over at Target. This person posts, our store is giving these out to all team members who want one. And what this is a Pride Ally badge. You know how that helps them? I don't know, but they're still pushing it. From this Target person, store unusually slow this weekend. So I worked this weekend and I was expecting it to be crazy because of Memorial Day, but it was unusually slow because Target, like all normal retail stores used to do, does a big Memorial Day sale. Lots of stuff you can buy, big discounts. But why would you want to support this company? A lot of people aren't. Quote, I mean, we had our little bursts of being busy, but the most I had was like 2 or 3 registers open. I'm not sure if it's because of the boycott or not. I just was wondering if anyone else noticed their store being slower than normal. So here are comments from additional Target members, team members, people that work at Target. It was slow. I'm in fulfillment, and we've had next to nothing to do all weekend. Even Opus was dead for several hours at a time. We had like 9 people scheduled, including all our on-demand team members, and we all just ended up pushing truck and priorities the whole weekend. So people in the fulfillment center, fulfilling website orders, for example, sitting around doing nothing. If you don't need to buy things from Target, and you don't support what they're doing, don't buy stuff from Target. And it is working, and it will affect change with them. Here's another person. I'm up around a major liberal East Coast city, and we were super dead too. Has to be because people are traveling or simply not willing to waste money browsing Target as an experience. The latter being a far more worrying trend than any Pride boycott. When the stock drops, first, $9 billion in a week, but then $10 billion over the course of 10 days for a company that had a stock value of $74 billion, now reduced to $64 billion in 10 days. That is severe. At this rate, they could lose another $10 billion in another 10 days. People go in and investors go in and they start shorting a stock, which basically means they bet against the stock going down, which helps to drive the stock down further. No doubt they're getting support from some of the Vanguard people and some of the BlackRock people that are going and trying to buy some stock or buying options on the stock going up. And that does help the company to keep the stock price up, but it's all artificial. They're going to have severe problems and they deserve it for what they're doing. Keep your social justice agenda away from people's kids. That's the whole point with Target. Here's another comment. Mine too. We've not been hitting sales goals for the last couple of days. Part of it may be the boycott, but the demographics of the guests who shop here do not seem to be particularly politically active. I think that the forecast was just a little bit too high. Target assumed that the COVID-19 good times for retail would continue rolling. These people who work at the store kind of don't want to admit reality that a lot of people are sick of Target. They're sick of the agenda and they will not shop there. Here's another person making excuses. Could also be either people traveling for the holiday or like here in Florida, we have a morning rush of people stocking up with drinks, ice, disposable coolers, and barbecue stuff for boating, beach, and barbecue events. Here's another person. Former team member, former employee of Target. I went to my local store in a large northeastern city that usually has checkout lines down to the pharmacy on Saturdays, which means a very long checkout line. Yesterday, however, it was dead. I went around 11:30 and came out at 11:45. Never happens. So what does this mean for Target? What is this going to be Target's future? It means the boycott is not stopping. And when stories like this are coming out in Daily Mail is a very big publication. I know a lot of other people on Target are going to pick this up, that their vice president of brand management is tied so closely into this Gleason company that's pushing schools to hide from parents if children are changing their gender. I mean, how is Target ever going to recover from something like this? I can't imagine that parents, and I'm a parent myself, would have any kind of patience for this. There's absolutely no excuse for this. And they're not even really trying to make excuses for it. As you can see, they're still kind of trying to push and keep their agenda going, pushing out these Pride ally tags that people can wear. From MSNBC, conservatives are making Pride merchandise toxic. Their real goal is much worse. What's happening at Target goes far beyond just a few people calling for a boycott. This is something Matt Walsh and the Daily Wire people were pushing very heavily to make Pride merchandise and everything to do with Pride Month toxic. They're doing it pretty successfully. The MSNBC people are, of course, against that, and they're not doing so well pushing back on it. They're very nervous. The New York Times had this article, Brands Embracing Pride Month Confront a Volatile Political Climate. And what's interesting about this particularly is the people that are pushing Pride Month would say, oh, it's about human rights. It has nothing to do with politics. You must accept these are just human rights. Well, even the New York Times has to admit, okay, yes, it's politics, and we can't really get away with this the way we used to. It only took Bud Light to kind of explode for conservatives to say, excuse me, no, we are not going to support this merchandise. We're not going to support these companies. We do not agree with this. You're not going to get anywhere near people's children to try to normalize this. And if you're going to do that, we're just not going to support you. Brands Embracing Pride Month confront a volatile political climate. Target became the latest company to adjust plans for marketing supportive of the LGBT community after it faced backlash from some customers. And it's not just a couple of customers. Customers don't want to see this. They don't want it thrown at their children. For years, Pride Month, the annual celebration for LGBT Americans, has afforded companies a marketing opportunity to tap into the local buying power of a group with growing financial, political, and social clout. Yet, while these efforts have always faced some opposition, brands and marketers say that the country's current political environment, especially around transgender issues, has made this year's campaigns more complicated. This week's Target became the latest company to rethink its approach after facing criticism for its Pride collection, which included clothes and books for children that drew outrage from some on the right. Because again, just keep it away from the children. But the problem with the whole Pride thing is this. It seems to be these companies are absolutely focused on locating and targeting children wherever they can, whether it's schools or in stores or in media or through Disney's entertainment. They need to push their agenda. Well, if they're going to push that agenda. At the very least, conservative customers are going to say, no, we don't want to see it. But beyond that, stay away from the kids. Now, this Twilight star has been slamming Target for removing the Pride collection. Twilight star Rachel Lefevre accused Target of trying to erase LGBT people after it removed its Pride collection from the front of its stores following backlash from conservatives. The actress blasted the retailer for engaging in performative allyship. How can you even use a phrase like performative allyship? What are you talking about? You don't own these companies. You don't own the culture. You don't own society. If you want to try to make your case for why you belong in society, we all have to do that. If you want to participate in society, that's okay too. But when you respect other people, you don't need to require that companies have non-performative allyship. These are ridiculous phrases that don't apply to reality. The actress blasted the retailer, quote, "I came in here 2 days ago and my 7-year-old who's non-binary saw it and said, 'Look, Mom, it's Pride. Look, they're going to celebrate me.'" The Canadian actress said in an Instagram post while holding back tears. "I can't bring them here anymore, at least for the entire month of June, because if they walk in and all the other people who walk in go, where'd it go, are going to realize that they are being successful in trying to erase them." But of course, biological women feel that way. And biological women represent a larger portion of the world than what they're defining as non-binary, two-spirit. It's incredible because there's no consideration for anyone else but whoever holds their views. Quote, "We're not supposed to negotiate with terrorists." And what's amazing is you're calling people terrorists who are the majority of society. They're just saying, look, we'd like to get on with our lives, live normal lives, but no. If you're a Twilight star, you get to accuse everyone of being a terrorist. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below. Are you surprised that there's a song called Boycott Target that's getting millions of views on iTunes? Did you think Target could manage to lose $10 billion in their stock value in the course of 10 days? And how much worse do you think it's going to get? Did you know that Target has a vice president of brand management who is actually a treasurer at the Gleason Group, the people that are trying to hide gender transitions away from parents who are responsible for their own children? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And had you heard yet that stores at Target have been pretty empty? Really interested to see what you have to say. Always love your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.